for having me
Yeah,
here today. I'm really excited to
for
talk
this.
about this with you. Yeah, this is the United Sprint Series. We're going to talk about, I'm going to get right into it because I know your time is so valuable. And thanks, Sean from Columbus, for popping in here today. And yeah, I'm going to go through some really exciting things with you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now to get started. Oops. Hold on, stop share. Of course, I'm going to have something technical happen.
On the day that you're about technical stuff in marketing.
Always, right? Yes, it's always like that. Let's see here. Share. Can we see my screen?
It says
No, right?
no.
It's not my Canvas. It's not my Canvas screen, right? It just worked a second ago when we tried it out. So let's try again. Hold on, screen one. Here we go. Desktop one.
While she's doing that, guys, drop in the
Yeah.
chat if you a Canadian flag or an American flag, depending on where
Yeah.
you're tuning in from. I'm curious. I recognize a few faces. Elizabeth, Jess. Hi, Jess. Nestor.
There we go.
Couple
Hold on.
Canadian, Canada. Do we have any Americans here? US. Jill is from the US. Okay, amazing. US, another Canadian. I love it. We've got a couple more people joining us here now. Another Canadian currently watching the Open Championship in Northern Ireland. All right.
Are we good now?
Yep, her.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much. So welcome. I'm so excited that you're here for Simplify Your Systems to amplify your results. So I'm excited to be part of the Sprint series. And Simplify to Amplify is something that, it really came to me because I got really overwhelmed at one point with tech. So if you're anything like me, I'm going to guess that, you had about 14 apps on your phone that you swear you were going to learn how to use someday, and like a Google Drive full of like half-finished content calendars. And at least once a week, you see another agent post a reel and you're like, how do they have time for this? I'm so busy with so many other things, right? So if any of those sound familiar, then you are in the right place today. So today's session is really just about pressing reset on your business. And by the end of the day, I want you to walk away with a streamlined tech system, a brand foundation that you can build on, and a clear picture of the clients that you're meant to serve so that you can build a business that you love, because that's what we all want to do at the end of the day. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you something important. First, I'm going to tell you how to say my name. So my name is Shaleni. It's Shaleni. And you know what, though? You can just call me Shal, and that's totally cool. I just had a whole thing about this at the last, the Forward event that we were at. So I'll go by Shal. It's no worries. And I want to also tell you something important. I have nothing to sell you today. I don't have a mastermind. I don't have a guidebook. I don't have an ebook. I have nothing at all. I just really want to give something back to the United community that I love. And I want to share with you something that's worked for me so that you can make it your own and it can work for you too. I'm a real estate agent just like you, and I am a recovering course purchaser. So if there was ever a help group for learning addicts, I'm sure I'd be the poster child. I've spent well over $100,000 on courses, coaches, masterminds, you name it. I've probably bought it, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of it because I've learned so much, and I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything. But here's the unsexy truth that no one talks about. All the courses in the world couldn't help me until I got brutally honest about one thing. And that's that I didn't need more information. I needed a clear plan, and I needed the discipline to actually follow it. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm going to tell you, at one point, it got so bad that I actually added a sticky note to my computer that says, "You don't need another course." And it's still there today because I love to learn, but now I'm just much choosier about what I invest in. So And that sticky note is really part of the reason why I'm here with you today, because I know that I'm not the only one who's been caught in the just one more strategy trap, purchasing the next app or downloading the next platform or chasing the next content trend, hoping that it's finally going to feel like it's going to make marketing easier. But it never does. Like, it actually has the opposite effect, and it can feel overwhelming. And it comes with a side of guilt for having purchased something and not used it, or bought a course and not finished it. And you get stuck in something called analysis paralysis. Can anybody relate to that? Like, drop a 1 in the chat if you can relate to that, because it's not a good feeling, right? So what actually works? So simplicity is what I found. I've really dialed everything down. So this is Confucius said, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And I feel like we could take life out here and put in real estate. Does anyone agree with that? Like, real estate is really actually a simple business, but we as an industry are so heavily marketed to that it's really easy to chase that like next shiny object, that thing that you think is going to get you there, right? But it doesn't need to be like that. Think of it like planting a garden. So you need good soil, you need water, sunlight, and a few healthy plants. But if you throw every plant you love in, and you mix shade and sun species, and you crowd the beds with like decorations and gnomes and like flamingos, nothing thrives. It's just like a tangled mess. Actually, AI made this for me with my instruction. It's just like triggering when I look at it, right? So simplicity gives everything room to grow. So that's what we're gonna get to today. So your marketing is the same. When you strip it down, the essential ingredients, your system, your brand, your content, everything gets clearer, easier, and more effective. And I'm not just teaching this, I am living it. I'm a full-time producing realtor. I work with clients every single day. And in fact, after I'm done this, I'm leaving for showings right after. So I know exactly what it's like to juggle deals, showings, family life, and still try to show up online without losing your mind. So that's why I'm here. I'm not an internet guru salesperson, or someone who doesn't even sell real estate, and I'm trying to tell you what to do. But I'm someone who's just like you. I'm deep in the trenches, and I get marketed the same things and the overwhelm. And I know what it feels like to just want a marketing process that doesn't feel like a third full-time job after real estate and home life, right? This work is personal. We are all realtors, and we all have different goals, we have different lives, and we have different definitions of success. So the best marketing plan isn't the one that works for someone else. It's the one that fits you, your life, and the way that you want to show up. And at the end of the day, you are your own superpower. So by the end of the day, you're going to be clearer on your brand and your ideal clients, because your business should really feel like something that you love and not something that you feel trapped by. So if you're ready, let's get right into it and simplify this together. So drop a yes in the chat if any of these sound familiar to you, because here's the thing, it's not just things like these are things I hear every day from agents who are juggling too many tools and too much pressure. So I'm paying for tools I forgot I even had, and I don't know how to use. Whoops, hold on. I know I should be posting, but I never know what to say. I'm scared to show too much of myself. That's a real thought that people have. And I don't know what makes me different. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of pressure, right? We feel like that's exactly why we're here, to simplify all of these things so that you can focus on what really matters. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with tech. Now, you probably have a love-hate relationship with technology, because we're all realtors. We are not IT departments, but somewhere along the line, it started to feel like if you didn't have the latest app, the fancy CRM, or like some all-in-one magic system, you were already behind. But here's the truth. You don't need more tools. You need fewer, but you need them to actually work for you. So step one is really simplifying your tech stack. And that starts with an audit. So what you're going to do is look at what you're working with, what you have already, and like what is not working for you. So we're going to clean it up. So either keep it or ditch it. So we're going to get clear on what you're actually using and what's just collecting dust or costing you money. So take 2 minutes now and just get started so you don't leave today and not implement, because I heard this saying before, which I love: action takers are money makers, baby. And if you take action on this, you will likely find something even right now that you could get rid of. So open up a Google Doc or make a list of the platforms and tools that you're using, your CRM, your website, email platform, social scheduling tool if you use one, video editing tools if you use them, and then make a check mark beside which ones you actually used in the last little while. And anything that you have that's just sitting there, but it's still charging your credit card, just cancel it, delete it, archive it, whatever, get rid of it. If it's a tool that isn't actively making your life easier or helping you connect with clients, it's clutter. And more marketing clutter equals mental clutter. This is an embarrassing fact, but it's true. When I did this, I didn't even know what I was subscribed to. So if you are an Apple user, go to your settings, subscriptions, and then you're going to see everything that you have on renewal, and you can cancel them in there. So I would do that, like, when you have, like, after this or when you have a moment, just go through and get rid of the things that you don't use. I've downloaded them. I forgot I had them. They were sitting there. So just get rid of them. Remember, more tools do not mean more results. Every tool that you keep should have a clear purpose. So once you've cleared the clutter, we're going to simplify all the way down to what I call your core tech stack. And this is where the magic happens. Now, I am not here to tell you which CRM to use, okay? I'm just gonna tell you that you need something to keep notes on your clients, because remembering birthdays and following up with leads should not live in your brain. Your brain is not a hard drive. Your brain is a better processing device than a storage device. And I'm telling you, as I get older, I really rely on those things. I need that technology to help you to remember, because, I just had a 25th wedding anniversary. I'm very lucky that my husband was on it, right? So keep a CRM or some sort of way of keeping track of your clients if you don't have one, and use it. Video editors. This is my love language. I love to talk about them. I've tried them all. I love video editing. I started in 2018, and I love to try something new. And I love a template or anything that can make quick content creation and make it easier. I've tried them all, paid for them all. These are the three that I would say you could look at in terms of video editors. I was a fan of CapCut, but not so much since the latest terms and conditions update. So I have canceled that. If you saw in that last video, I won't be using it going forward. But I have used InShot in the past. Now that does cost some money. And I've also been playing around with Edits, which is free. Mojo is another one that I've used in the past, which has a lot of templates in it. So if you're just getting started, that might be something to consider as well. The next essential in your tech stack, and I call this like a multi-tool, it's Canva, because I don't know, if you drop a yes in the chat if you have Canva. I feel like almost everybody has Canva. I have the pro version. Yes, Elizabeth, it's like you can use it for everything. And actually it keeps evolving and getting better and better, right? Like now, you could even use it for some video editing or simple Reels edits. It's just gotten better and better. So it does everything from guides, static posts, even websites. I have a colleague who was making a transfer over, and in the meantime, just created a website on Canva. So it's really it's a multi-tool, multi-purpose, and it's a good thing to have in your tech stack. The other thing, if you want to stay in touch with your clients via email, which I highly recommend, it's something that I do, you may want to have a newsletter platform as part of your tech stack. Now, if you're going to send out a newsletter, first, before you put any money into it, just see if you can do it through your CRM, if it's not something you've been regularly doing, right? And if you can't, then consider investing in an email platform. So I have used Flowdesk for quite a few years, but right now I'm moving over to Kit, which is more cost effective, just as capable, and it's actually free if you have under 1,000 people on your newsletter. So if your CRM doesn't do it and you're looking for like a next level platform where you can get analytics, then like those are, a lot of people use MailChimp. I've actually never used it. So I can't speak to it, but those are three options that I know are quite popular. But your tools should work together and not make you the middleman. That's the other thing. So when you're looking at different tools, just make a note to yourself. Just like, does your CRM, website, and email platform, do they talk to each other? So when someone signs on your website, do they automatically land in your CRM or get a welcome email? Or are you manually moving them between systems? Because I've heard of people doing that, and that's crazy to me. Like you will waste time doing that, right? So if you're the glue holding your systems together, then they aren't working for you. You are working for them. And so get rid of them and find another solution. If you want to talk about like this, even one-on-one, I'm happy to share what I've learned. So now let's talk content. So you already know consistency is key. But what if you're not a writer or a designer? One of the biggest obstacles to creating content that I hear from people is just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, right? So I'm not a big fan of starting from scratch if I don't have to. So, every time I have to post, I do believe in being authentically you, which we're going to talk about when we get into brand and how to make that easy for you. But there's two tools that I've personally explored that I like. If you're really, really struggling, then these would be great things for you to lean on, and that I use some days where I'm just like, I'm actually just can't get creative, right? So one of them is Coffee and Contracts. I will say for all the Canadians in here, it does have a bit of an American, it leans like American and for the content, but they give you caption starters, like there's brand kits in there. You can get guidebooks. The important thing to take away from all this is like you need to make it your own, but it will help you create content with less time like spent creating content and coming up with it when we're really busy and on the road. Another one is called realestatecontent.ai. So this tool, it uses AI to generate tailored content, both images and B-roll video, and it will do it in your brand voice and look. So you feed it this information and it will create the content for you. And that can be a huge time saver and super helpful if you are stuck. So these are just tools. You do not need both of them. You do not need any of them. But I'm like, if content is where you get stuck, and these could help you stay visible without spending hours a week, I like, why wouldn't you, right? Just make sure to tweak them so that they are in your voice. And I'll make sure we put links in the chat if you want to check out those profiles. Yeah, make them your own. Don't copy paste. And okay, so let's move on to branding and simplifying your branding. So this is the next step, and I love this step because once you nail this, so much of everything else becomes easier. Your brand isn't your logo, the colors, the fonts. It's how people experience you. It's what they remember. It's what they say about you when you're not in the room. It's how they decide if you're the one they trust. Everybody has a personal brand, either by design or default. So you not showing up is also creating a brand, right? So you are better off to design it so you can mold it into what you want. Does that make sense to everybody? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense to you. I love this quote from Laura Belgray. I'm like a huge fan of hers. I don't know if you've heard of her before. She's a brilliant copywriter. She's wrote a book. It's called Tough Titties. Like, so sorry for saying that, but it's an excellent book. And she's an amazing storyteller. She said, screw making a brand personality. Make your personality the brand. And if you want to know what can make you stand out in a crowded market, the answer is you. In today's world, like trust is everything. People are more skeptical than ever. All I need to say to you is like fake news, and you know exactly like what I mean, right? Like there's so much skepticism, and even with all of the AI things coming in, you're like, is that real? I don't know. So like people need to believe in you before they'll engage with you. And I'm sure you're familiar with the term like, know, and trust, right? We've all heard that before. By consistently showing up and giving value and staying authentic, you build trust over time. And the more people trust you, the stronger your personal brand and the more credible you will appear. So, are you familiar with a coat of arms? Can you drop a one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about with it when I talk about a coat of arms? I actually learned this in a Laura Belgray course, but I thought it was such a great way, because I'm such a visual person, to explain how to get to know yourself. Because like there was a point when I was like, who am I really? Like I really need to spend some time like thinking about this. And so this is just a great way to visually explain how to know yourself and who you are, because it's not always easy to do. So if you don't know what a coat of arms is, it's a symbol or a shield. It was used like centuries like ago, and by families or clans or nations to show and identify like their values and their legacy, right? So every detail, the colors, the icons, it tells a story about who they are and what they stand for. And it's designed to be instantly recognizable and deeply personal. So your brand should do the same. So I want you to like help you really define your brand. Let's draw your coat of arms. Draw it on a page, or if you want to print out later, like I can send this to you. But you want to draw a coat of arms, or just make a square or whatever you like, and divide it into 4 sections. So the first section is going to be your voice and personality. So how do you naturally communicate and connect with people? And it would be like your brand voice. So the tone and energy you bring to your content, conversations, and your client interactions, it's what gives your brand its human edge. So are you calm and steady? Are you high energy? Are you a straight shooter? Are you nurturing? Do you explain things like a teacher, or do you guide like a coach? Or are you like the cheerleader friend, right? This affects your like captions, your video presence, your email style, and your client rapport. And it's something that you can't, that's intuitively you and your style. People maybe know, they know, that's how they know who you are, right? Number 2, core themes and messages. So what are the things you keep coming back to, intentionally or not? So these would be your reoccurring themes, your recurring ideas, like your beliefs, your truths. They show up in your marketing over and over because they are tied to what you genuinely care about. So what topics do you always talk about with your clients? Like, what's the one thing that you want to be known for? And what do people say that you explain well every time? And this affects your content pillars, like your brand authority and your reputation. And then number 3 is like your reputation. So what do people say behind your back? Now the good kind. How do people describe you when you're not in the room? This is your reputation layer, and it's the experience people have working with you that sticks with them. And you can't always see this, but you can shape it. For example, I talk a lot about my dogs in my content. That's just part of who I am. That's part of one of my messages or core themes that keeps coming up. And I will have people I don't even know, randomly send me things with Frenchies in them. They'll send me, oh, I saw this Frenchie thing. And then they'll send me a picture of it or a reel about a Frenchie. Real estate is obviously something that I talk about a lot. And I'll have people send me funny memes for real estate. Although somebody sent me one yesterday, and it was like this lady that had she said, what do you do if somebody doesn't list with you? And there was like a person with like duct tape on them in the back of their trunk. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would never do that. But they just, it's like, oh, they thought real estate, they thought of me, they thought it was funny, they sent it to me, right? So that's just part of who you are. So think about those things. Like don't be scared to show people who you are, because like I said, that is your superpower. That's what makes you authentically you and will help you stand out, because people like to do business with people they like, know, and trust, right? And when we see things similar in each other, it helps bring us closer together, right? Another thing is your why and your values. And oh, sorry, for your reputation, you can also go back to your Google reviews. Go back to your Google reviews and see what the upcoming, like the themes are that come up again and again, because sometimes it's hard to like hype our own selves up. So you can always pull that from that information too. Number 4 about your brand is like, why do you do this? What is your personal motivation and your values? So what drives you to keep going in this business? Because I know like at some point, like maybe even once a day, I'm like, wait, why am I doing this again? Right? Like it comes up, but that's a reoccurring theme. But you know, what keeps you going? So I will say for like Amy, for example, she like has, I don't even know if she knows that that comes across, but like her legacy is like leaving, like creating legacy for her nieces and nephews. Like that is echoed in her brand. I know that's a part of like who she is. She's caring and like and loves them and wants to build something better for them, and that translates whether she knows it or not. Like, and if you followed her content, you would say the same thing, right? Think of somebody who you follow where you just intrinsically kind of know these things about them, that and that ties into their values and who they are, right? It's the heart of your brand. It's not what you do, but why it matters to you, and that builds trust and resonance faster than anything else, right? So what moments make this work meaningful to you? Ask yourself, like, what belief keeps you in this industry when it gets hard, right? What kind of clients or families are you deeply passionate about helping? This affects your storytelling, your brand mission, your like alignment with who you're working with in terms of clients, right? So now that once you get this dialed in and spend some time working on it, it's not like it doesn't happen overnight and it can evolve, right? But now your job, once you've got these things in, is rinse and repeat these core messages about who you are to the world and what you want people to think of when they think of you. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, because people need to hear the messages, like I think it's like 7 to 12 times before they even can really hear it, right? Um, Seth Godin, I love him. So I have like a couple of quotes for him because he's like, I feel like the OG brand and marketing guy. So if you know who he is, drop a 1 in the chat, and it's okay if you don't. But you should really check out his blog as a marketer and realtor. But if you don't know who he is, he's a renowned entrepreneur, author, public speaker. He's known for his work on marketing leadership and the power of creating remarkable ideas. And he's written over like 20 best-selling books, which is pretty incredible. But he had this to say on brand. So a brand is more than a logo. It means you made a promise. Consistency means you keep that promise and behave how people expect you to behave. So making promises and keeping them is the only way to build a brand. It's integrity, right? And I think probably integrity is a value for a lot of us in this Zoom room right now. So being you consistently, I'm going to tell you right now, it is much easier than trying to be something you're not. I am not Ryan Serhant. I am not like some of those big, and I have no desire to be. And that's so cool. But trying to be somebody you're not is exhausting, and it's the quickest road to burnout. Like how easy it is to just be yourself, and own that, right? So I just love that quote. Okay, so now that you're more in touch, I hope, with your personal brand, I hope that helped you at some way to refine it. Let's talk about who you're talking to, because you're not for everyone. You're for someone. So think about your favorite past client. What do they need? What were they worried about? What made them trust you? So when you know who you're speaking to, your content becomes clearer and it becomes easier and it becomes more effective, and you will connect instead of chasing people. So how do we do this? I have another Sethism for you. Everyone is not your customer. So when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. If you've heard that before, just like raise your hand. Like, and it's like a marketing like 101. Like we feel nervous, I think, sometimes to dial it in. Like you're like, oh, I don't want to cut. I help first time buyers, but I also help downsizers. And I also, you don't want to cut yourself down. But you can have marketing messages for different people, but don't be vanilla, be pistachio, like be, for ice cream, like try and like, direct it to those people, your different messages, so that you can resonate and connect with people. So this is an exercise, is your dream client exercise, right? So we are going to step into their shoes, and there are all sorts of different shoes that our clients might wear. But in order to know who we're speaking to, we want to get inside their head. And the great thing is, you don't need to guess what your dream clients are thinking. You can go and find it, because we have beautiful things like Google and chat, right? So go to Google and type in, is like now a good time to buy, and then see, let autocomplete do the rest of the magic. You'll see all these different things that people have Googled that may be around home ownership. So those are questions like real people are asking, and so you can use that to help you come up with what questions they might be wanting the answers to, and then you can solve those problems. Another one is join Facebook groups where your ideal clients hang out, like local parent groups or like first-time buyer groups or your local community groups. You probably are in them already, but now intentionally go in and say, okay, what are people asking about moving here or real estate or any of those things? And that is like a little gold mine of nuggets that you can take from there to help you make content, so you're not guessing like what they might want to know. Another really good one, I mean, take it with a grain of salt sometimes, is Reddit. But there's lots of great information on Reddit. Like go into Reddit, people are anonymous and they're like asking the questions. Like in the real estate, you could look in your real estate community forums or even personal finance forums. There are thousands of real people asking real questions in there that you can solve their problems. And then the emotional part. What are they feeling? For emotions, look at the DMs or the comments that you got from any buyers or sellers that you've worked with, and just like ask your or even ask your last client some questions, like, what were you feeling before you reached out to me? Like, could you help? I'm doing a little bit of research. Could you let me know, like, how are you feeling before we started this process, right? And when it comes to like what they want and understanding what they want from you, again, go read your testimonials or go to your competitors' Google reviews. The clients will literally tell you what stood out to them, like in the process, and that is your gold. And this is a pro tip. Like, make note of the phrases people use when they describe their problems and echo that back in your copy. Look at the words that people use, because we can be a little bit stuck in our own internal realtor jargon, right? With like, so try to look at like, what are the people saying? What are the words that they say? And then echo those back in your copy. Does that make sense for everyone? I hope that was a helpful tip for you. And then I'm going to leave you with this today. This hurts. It hurts, but it is your responsibility to be seen. Every single day that goes by that you're not being seen is another day that people who need your help are going to listen to someone else who's maybe not as good as you are and can't provide the value that you can, or doesn't care as much as you do. Your audience, the people who need you, are going to hire them instead of you simply because they can't find you. Oh, like, to my soul, right? I don't want to pressure you, but I want to remind you that your work matters. Every realtor in this room has a story and a message and a gift that someone out there is waiting for. But if you're not visible, they won't find you. So let's stop hiding behind perfection and simplify what doesn't matter, and start showing up as ourselves, because it's simple to do that because you don't have to pretend or be anybody else. You can just be you because someone's next chapter is going to depend on that. And so you have some homework because this is a two-stepper. We've got our sprint today and we've got a sprint next week. So go through your tech stack and save some money. Reflect on your brand pillars, right? Simplify those, like get those dialed in so that you know yourself some more. And then work on doing some research, like do some research here and like try and find out, what your clients or what people are looking for right now. Like, how can you help them? How can you serve them best? How can you add value and answer their questions? Action takers are money makers, baby. So take one small step today that your future self is going to thank you for. And next week, I hope that you'll be here because we're going to talk about creating a weekly content system that you can stick to because you are going to make it. I'm not giving it to you, but I'm going to give you some guidelines and principles and things that work. And we're going to learn some camera confidence hacks. I love talking about that and helping people with it. And so we're going to go over those. We're going to talk about how you can upgrade your video quality. I'm going to give you some simple tips that you can do whether you're on a phone. We are going to talk about mobile. If you want to talk about the other things like the Osmos and all the cameras, I'm your girl. Like I love my my tech tools. And then we're going to talk about amplifying your reach with repurposing and collabs and how that can get your message out further. And I'd love to stay connected with you. If you'd like, you can follow me on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you, talk to you, and like share some information back and forth and learn from each other. So thank you so much. That's my sprint series for the day. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, I think while we have you, we should open up for questions. Does anybody have anything on like the tech side, the brand side, the messaging side that you want to dive into with Shaleni? I think one of the things that paralyzes a lot of us is the thought of like, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one and alienating some of our clientele. Like if you are, like you said, if you work directly with like upsizers or downsizers, and then you want to talk to first-time home buyers. So would you tackle that topic just a little bit deeper?
Yeah, for sure. So for the way that I did it was I branded more on the town that I'm in. So I had a whole series called Check It Out Milton. So I was nervous when I first did it because, well, I also serve Mississauga and Burlington and I serve some other areas. And I thought, oh my gosh, I had those same thoughts. Like if I do this, like no one's gonna call me to serve in these other areas. But the thing is it's not true. That's something you're telling yourself in your head. So even if you make a lot of content for first time home buyers, like it's like the specialist theory, right? Like you specialize in one thing. People won't say, oh, well, she doesn't help downsizers because she only specializes in this. It's just in your head. I still do lots of business in a lot of other markets, but I specialize in Milton, so that's how I get referrals from other agents. They're like, "Oh, she's the Milton girl," right? Or or other people will say, "Oh, my friend was moving to Milton." They'll say, "Oh, she's got a lot of content on that." So don't be scared to niche down. I know it can feel scary, but there are like what's that expression? Riches in the niches, and no, people didn't make that up for like, you know. I was gonna swear, like a swear thing, but like for no reason, right? It's important to dial down into something and stand for something and be an expert in something, because then you'll learn the language of those people and they'll just spread the word about you to other ones. I personally lived that, and I know many other people that have too. So it's just the noise in our head. It's the noise in our head. It's not true. Does that help?
Yeah, it's really good.
Would you
It's
add something
definitely
to that? Like you think it's
it's
true,
just
right? Like,
no, but I mean I struggle with it too. It's like it's a mind block thing, like where if I talk to this category, I'm going to alienate the others. So I like what you said.
mhm.
Anybody else?
How do
Anybody
you,
want to?
I'm sorry, this is Naya Johnson. I was just wondering, how do you establish yourself? Like, what are the steps that you do to establish yourself as the local real estate agent? Like, are there any partnerships with local government agencies? Like, how do you find the information and sources that you use for content to get out there?
So there's lots of ways that you can do that, Nye. That's a great question. So even in the conference that we just went to, like Sharon was speaking about that, but like even just being like the news authority, like in your town. So what I personally did was I love small business, so I went to interview and like showcase small businesses that I love in my community, and then from there people would share because like people love to talk about where they live and like share things with them. Or did one like for example, there's one place it's called like Bistro in Maine. They have like the best sweet potato fries. I love sweet potato fries, and I'm like, look, this is the best place to get sweet potato fries in Milton. Which you're like, well, that has nothing to do with real estate, but I love my community, and that gets shared by people, and so then they'll see some of that content. Then maybe they'll see some real estate content later on, right? So I just went into places that I loved. I started with that. Actually, the first thing I ever did to get into it was back in 2018. I did 30 videos in 30 days. It was from a course that I had taken and they had challenged us to do that. It was 30 videos in 30 days of things that, look around your town. So, and they are not the greatest videos. Like they are still on my YouTube channel, but it really put me on the map. And that's where it sort of spiraled into like, okay, I'm like, if I could do 30 videos in 30 days, I could do a video a week. And just showcasing things that you love around your town. Maybe it's parks. If you could get interviews with government or things like that, and if that's something you're passionate about, then you can do that. There's another great realtor in New Jersey. She's like the OG of doing this. I'm like, her name is, you know who she is, Ema. Her name is totally escaping me right now, but she did it with schools. She did lots and lots of Judy. Is it Judy?
Oh, Judy Weiniger.
Yes, Weiniger, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's an amazing human, and she really showcased her schools and school districts, and like it. I mean, it put her on the map in the area that she's in, and she still does it now. So, I think just make content about things that you love, like in your area, or news topics or things that are happening, and like people are interested in that. They're watching more their phones than they are like the news nowadays, right? So be that person.
Just dropping
Yeah.
her handles. Her last name is hard to spell. I have to look at every single letter. Yeah, she's amazing. There's so many great realtors out there that are really crushing at hyper local content. And another really great one is I'll just drop her handle in here, is Aaliyah. I'll share this with you guys. She's really good. She we were actually chatting about her this morning on our North Group ladies accountability group.
100% Sean, she is lovely.
Yeah, I'm just dropping her right now. She's awesome. Okay, we have like a couple more minutes. Does anybody have any questions on tech, on starting on the homework, clarifying your coat of arms? I wrote that down. I need to do that. Carmen.
It helps. It's good to reset.
Is this recorded? I missed the first part of the course.
It is. Yep. The link is in the chat. We'll drop it again right now.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Carmen.
Thanks. Shaleni, I think you're just a perfect example of someone that's on the go. And my purse is heavy enough. And truly, I hate just using my phone because messages are coming in and all that kind of stuff. So I struggle with the tools and I don't want to have a lot of items. So what do you find is like light, practical, and works? Also, I guess more importantly for audio as well, right?
Oh, I love this question. Okay, so I've got it's a bit of an investment. Like your phone is fine, but if you did want to buy something else, then I would suggest this, which is the Osmo Pocket 3. So this is the one that's like a creator combo. It comes with like extra battery. It comes with a mic
Okay.
as well. And so, which is easy just to clip on. It's small enough that it can fit in your purse. I actually got this little extension for it that has a magnet on it. And so I can like take this with me. And if I really wanted to do something, I could just like stick it to anything that like has a magnet on it. And you can film vertical or horizontal. So it would work also great for doing YouTube content. And yeah, I don't know US price, but I think it was like around 1,000 Canadian, maybe a little bit more for the creator combo, but it has everything that you need because it comes with the mic. There are like, that's it for a camera if you wanted to level up. Cause I just feel like this does everything instead of having like a big one, right? Like I very rarely want to go around with this unless I'm really doing something intentional, but the pocket is small enough that I don't mind putting it in my purse and carrying it around. And with a couple of those little extra tools, it makes it really easy. There's another mic that I use, this one here. And this is the Hollyland mic. It's good if you're going to do an interview because it comes with 2 mics inside. And they're so cute. They're so small. You can get it in black or in white. It's got a little magnet on the back, so you don't have to hold it necessarily. And these are less expensive if you just wanted a good mic, because audio quality is so important. And you'll notice it makes a huge difference. I did like a test of in a vacant condo. I shot something without the mic and with the mic, and just the fan noise and everything in the back. It really makes a huge difference. So hopefully
Awesome.
that's helpful. Mm-hmm.
So guys, Shaleni's going to conclude this next Thursday at 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern time. The second part of this sprint series is Simplify to Amplify. But I also wanted to invite you because RocketFuel, which is United's sort of staple weekly mastermind, is on a break for the summer. We're actually taking that time slot on Monday at 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern time. And we, Shaleni, myself actually, and about 7 other industry leaders are going to recap top takeaways from the Forward conference. So if you were one of those, sitting on the sidelines like, shoot, I wish I was in Vegas. I didn't get there. I didn't register in time for the sold out event, then you can join us on Monday and we're going to drop all the nuggets. We're going to drop all the top takeaways, all the nuggets, so you can get a recap of Forward on Monday at 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern time. And we just dropped the link into the chat so you can register there. You are the first to hear about this. So the announcement is going up today. We haven't even started promoting it yet. You are the first to hear. So if you want to jump on with us, you can participate and just sort of revel in the top takeaways of the Sold Out Forward conference that happened last weekend. So amazing. Shaleni, thank you. You are awesome. We appreciate you. This was so good. See you guys next Thursday, same time, same place, and also Monday if you want to join us for the recap of Forward. Have a great rest of your day.